All right, Greg Gutfeld is the co-host of 2 shows on Fox News. You probably know that. And has a brand new book called The King of Late Night. Why? Because he is. He also has an apparent obsession with me.
It's like they want to turn out like Brian Kilmeade. And he's not even here. Rest in peace. I'm kidding, he's alive. What are your plans for the future?
Brian Kilmeade and I are going to start a late-night talk show at 11 called Ones and Zeros. I will be the ones, Kilmeade will be the zeros.
Pam and Tommy, Kim and Kanye.
Yeah.
They're all
Brian,
toxic.
Kilmeade, and Greg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian, Kilmeade, and Greg. That was an idea for a show.
No, it wasn't. The show is finally happening. Yep, Greg Gutfeld, Brian Kilmeade, and Greg. Here we go. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
My staff, and I've got many, said 9 references to me.
Yes.
What is wrong with you? Why are you obsessed with me?
You should be, I say this, you should be worried when people aren't obsessed with you, right? It's like, there are people at this company I will not make jokes about because they can't handle it. They can't handle it.
Right.
But you, like, I love doing it to you because I could be as obnoxious as I can possibly muster, and you still smile.
It doesn't bother.
It doesn't bother you at all.
I don't know why it doesn't bother.
That's why I do think we should have our own show at some point. When I get a little bit older and slower.
And you need somebody.
I need something.
Right now, you need nobody.
I don't need you, Brian.
Right.
But like I would say, like in 5 years, I'm gonna need you.
Right.
Unless I'm
stick
president.
around. So, Greg, I'm obsessed with late night television.
Yeah.
And I always have been. Jack Paar, Steve Allen, Johnny Carson, the best talk show host ever until I met you, of course.
Thank you.
What happened in late night for someone like you to come in and become #1?
Well, first, I didn't know what I was doing. So what helped me was like Fox, 7 or 8 years of just doing the same thing every night, red eye, middle of the night. So even though I was bad, a lot of people really didn't see how bad I was, including the executives, or I would have been fired. But so what happens is Fox was patient, gave me time to grow, and just at the perfect moment, you had Democrat president, woke culture, you had TV personalities that were more interested in keeping their job than telling the truth. And so all of late night just became this kind of big mush. The differentiation just came from me doing something that wasn't them.
Right. You know? And they put you on the weekend, too, which is a big hit, and some red eye. But you talk about something that's, I think, relatively hysterical. It is what's happened on late night TV. You mentioned it before. Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon was funny with Donald Trump, and he never recovered because he normalized the president of the United States. Here's the moment that set the groundwork for you to be the king of late night. Watch.
I did not do it to normalize him or to say I believe in his political beliefs or any of that stuff. I'm sorry. I don't want to make anyone angry. I never do.
Right.
And I never will. It's all in the fun of the show. And I made a mistake. I'm sorry if I made anyone mad. And looking back, I would do it differently.
Is he nuts? He was funny in that segment.
Terrible. This was a great moment in television, and that apology is one of the saddest things you'll ever hear. Because Fallon, he's a good guy, nice guy. He really just wants to have a good time.
Talented.
Yeah, very talented, and just does want to have a good time. He doesn't want politics or anything, and that he had to do that pathetic hostage apology because his publicist made him do it. That's a publicist move. That was like, you know what? People at the cocktail parties, it's a network move. It was just so sad that he was more concerned about how he was going to be treated outside his own show by, all these liberals, all these agents, all these, all the people at, NBC. It's a shame. Yeah.
So this is an idea. The book is really good. It's you wrote every word of it. Mm-hmm. Here's an excerpt from your book, read by Greg Gutfeld, because you're here and it's your book.
I love that. This is like a books on tape, speed reader. People in my industry don't like me. Before, you got to understand, I was just harmless. They could pat me on the head and say, he just doesn't know any better. But when the winning begins, suddenly they don't want you around anymore. They'll marginalize your ideas. They'll say that you used to be funny, but not anymore. They don't want to have to fight for their beliefs, perhaps because they're less confident in them as the tide changes.
And that's really what led to the book, right?
Yeah, exactly. And to my success. Right. And to you feeling miserable most of the time as I walk in.
Not true.
Oh, it is. When I see you crying, sometimes I go in and I'll pat you on the back and say it's not so bad, but
most times you don't.
No.
Greg, Congratulations on the book. If you want to know a little bit about his personal life as well as his professional
There's
life
pictures.
and how he got on top, it's the Gutfeld story, now labeled The King of Late Night. Buy a book wherever it is sold and pay the full price, and buy more than one, for goodness sakes, please.
Damn it.
The guy needs to make a living. Greg,
True.
thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I love you.
I wish you meant it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.